Alright, let's talk about augmented reality, why it's probably about to explode and have its mainstream moment very soon. This episode is me exploring everything that is about to happen. So augmented reality, AR, is the technology which layers digital things on top of the real world. That might be pictures, videos, audio, or other media, essentially blending the physical and digital worlds. Pokemon Go is the classic early example of this, where people of all ages, myself included, were running around the long grass of their neighbour's back garden trying to find a wild Diglett before someone came out, got angry, and kicked them out. Now, there's a few reasons why I think that was cool, but probably ahead of its time, and why soon is very likely to be the big AR inflection moment for a whole load of use cases and for the average person. But to be fair to Pokemon Go, it was also downloaded a billion times. This is going to be quite a visual episode, so you can watch all of this on the Based AF YouTube channel, or I will talk you through it, of course, if you're listening as a podcast. In a second, we're going to look at some of the best AR experiences and examples that are already out there, but let's chat quickly about why I think this is the moment to start paying attention. So over the last 18 months, we had all of these massive promises of this amazing Ready Player One style fully immersive future. Promises that naturally couldn't deliver immediately, and along with some wider reasons, it all cooled off for now. This type of future is coming in some form. All the clues are there, it's just not ready yet. There's a lot to be built. What exists currently is kind of clunky, doesn't work that well, or it's just difficult for the average person to access and use. So that is one end of the spectrum and is further down the line. At the other end of the spectrum, and happening right now, we have the AI boom. All of these amazing AI tools that keep coming out and can help almost anyone create amazing content online, and is moving at light speed. Augmented reality kind of sits in the middle of all of this. It's not fully immersive, but it's a layer of digital reality on top of the physical world that we're all familiar with and document every day. And so AR, I think, is perfectly positioned to have its mainstream moment for a few different reasons. The first being exactly what we've just mentioned. It's familiar and easy to use for the average person. We've all been using AR for ages on our phones. Snapchat and Instagram filters do exactly this, add digital things onto the real world. That might be a face filter, which have come a long way since just putting dog ears on your head. One on TikTok went massively viral recently for being unbelievably convincing with makeup. It's essentially using AI to almost live deep fake your face in real time, and the results are blowing people's minds. And Snapchat is actually one of the most used cameras in the world. And Snapchat also now has lenses which can recognize and do amazing things in the real world. It can recognize hundreds of dog breeds, thousands of plant types, physical clothing items, and tell you where to buy them, even identify food items and suggest recipes that you could use them in, or just add a layer of digital reality on top of the physical world. Like these animations on top of the Eiffel Tower, or this awesome example of these people splashing digital paint across a wall in the city. This is all the beginning of what I like to think of as the gamification of the physical world with this added layer of reality. And according to Snapchat, over 200 million people use their AR lenses every day on their phone. But this all gets a lot more interesting when you start talking about wearable glasses. Now, again, there have been moments where this technology has been too early. If you remember Google Glass, it was exactly that. But that was also 10 years ago now, and a lot has changed in that time. We've since seen wearable glasses from Snapchat and others that have been big improvements and kind of cool, but still sort of gimmicky. Although the best use case I saw for AR type glasses was the Ray-Bans and Meta collab, where somebody used the smile face filter on everybody who was coming up the escalator at a train station during rush hour, turning their glum faces into happy smiling ones. It's a great video, but all still kind of gimmicky and a use of just face filters. But that brings us to the next point of why AR now is likely to have its big mainstream moment. And that is the now very heavily rumored unveiling of Apple's mixed reality headset at their worldwide developer conference, which kicks off on the 5th of June. All eyes are going to be on this. We won't go through all the rumors here. I'll leave a good article below, but it's likely to be called the RealityPro with a new operating system called Reality OS. And there's said to be a focus on adapting iPad productivity apps, but also on gaming, fitness, and watching sports. Apparently, wearers will be able to operate the headset using eye and hand gestures. It can determine where people are looking, and then users can pinch their fingers to select items and move through menus. The device will feature an in-air virtual keyboard, but can also connect to an actual keyboard for improved productivity. Apple already have their native AR file formats, and their AR kit has been used on phones for a while now. And this is an example of a very impressive painting using that AR file format. So it maps to the wall, the light reflections are amazing, it has occlusion when you walk past, all very impressive. The headset is said to offer augmented reality and also switch to full virtual reality as well, with a $3,000 price tag, which if true is kind of pricey, but there's also rumors of different models, basic, pro, and the like. Ultimately though, this is what Apple do best: deliver technology that is easy to use to the average person. Pretty likely it's going to be a big moment. We should also mention the Meta Quest Pro here, which came out in October last year and had full color pass-through into the real world, which allowed for lots of cool new experiences. We also know the Quest 3 is coming as well, so very likely this new category of experiences are going to grow. A quick mention here also to the Nreal Air glasses, which look a lot like regular sunglasses and are essentially just a giant 130-inch OLED display for playing movies and games. You do need to plug them into your phone to connect it and power it, but for a giant high resolution display that still lets you interact in the physical world, it's a pretty good step in the right direction, and generally people are loving them. Okay, so we've covered the fact that these devices are coming and Apple's addition is very likely going to be a big moment. But the third reason I think this is all around the corner is because it actually solves real world problems and is also genuinely really fun. This idea of essentially gamifying the real world, which I think is a bigger macro trend that we're seeing with all of these technologies. Alright, so let's go through some of the best applications of augmented reality that have been showcased recently. Now, when we talk about solving problems or using technology to help us, this product demo from Google recently caught everyone's attention and also hit the emotions as well. They showed some glasses that they are testing which translate different spoken languages into live subtitles in your own language. So, for example, you could be traveling to China and speak in English to someone who only speaks in, say, Mandarin. That audio is translated and shown as Chinese subtitles to the other person, and you're able to have a full conversation. Pretty cool. They also showcased it for a mother who was deaf and her children spoke to her and she was able to read the subtitles directly. So a very cool demonstration of augmented reality technology that is instantly useful to the world. Alright, next let's pick up on this idea of the physical world becoming gamified, which I think is one of the most fun use cases of all. The fact that we can layer virtual experiences on top of the physical world creates this whole new gamified reality. It can be fun just for the pure sake of entertainment, making a boring environment loads more interesting, as in this example of a physical brick wall that appears to shatter to reveal something behind it. Or this giant game of the classic arcade game Brick Breaker, where you bounce the ball off a moving horizontal platform to smash bricks that someone built on top of a physical wall in the city and can be played in AR. Or how about this giant Lego character that appears on top of famous landmarks like the Arc de Triomphe, making a day out for young kids maybe way more entertaining. Or an educational scavenger hunt, which needs no physical materials but still takes kids on a journey exploring the world outside. And pretty quickly you can start to see how the entire world can begin to become gamified with multiple different digital experiences layered on top of the physical space. How you use that is also endless. This video went viral recently of someone who created an AR portal on the beach which lets you step inside an entire augmented world and look at beach-themed interior products. Is that part of the future of e-commerce and high street shops? Of course, all these types of experiences can be brought into the home too. This is a video of an augmented roller coaster builder called Coaster Mania that can be brought into your living room. Now, if you're listening on the podcast, imagine a sort of Scalextrics or old model trains track, but entirely digital, allowing a kid to build a whole roller coaster and test their creation with no physical toys or track anywhere in the room. If you have kids and they play with micro machines, those tiny toy cars which also have ludicrously massive YouTube channels, this is the kind of augmented version of that. I would guess this would be massively popular for kids and also for adults who don't want to trip over toy cars in their front room. Or what about interactive tabletop games that we mentioned? This one is called Splitter Critters, where you get to manipulate the world of a cute creature by slicing through the air without ever removing yourself from the physical world. We can even go one step further and you can now create Mario Kart tracks inside your house. This is the Mario Kart Live home circuit, where your room becomes a track for the game that you can then race around. Or how about even real life Mario Kart with augmented powers on an actual physical go-kart track, which launches us into another great AR category, new sports. So this is a game called Hado, which I have actually played myself, and it was instantly really fun, which speaks to the whole appeal of AR. It's not asking for a huge jump for a user to get involved. Rather than completely having to immerse themselves in a new virtual world, AR just adds to a current familiar reality. Hado is a sort of cross between dodgeball and Street Fighter. You're on a physical court and you have to make motions with your arms to send a Hadouken powerball to hit the opponent or damage their shield. It's the first ever physical esport. It's growing rapidly, essentially only needs phones to work, and is genuinely really fun. We're going to explore it more in future episodes. Okay, let's jump into commerce and shopping, another area where we're already seeing cool AR use cases. So you may have seen these videos of these incredible animated 3D billboards in various cities that appear to be bursting into the physical world. Nike did an awesome one for Air Max Day. They don't require glasses, but use a clever technique called stereopsis to create the illusion of depth. Not strictly AR, but all part of this digital immersion in the physical world. Balenciaga also did one to announce their drop in Fortnite. We've also begun to see AR used in fashion. Artifact, who are owned by Nike, have a pretty clear vision on this and have released physical items that have augmented elements which come to life when scanned with a phone. Their vision is that digital fashion will be prioritized in the future, and our physical clothes will have a whole augmented existence that would be impossible in just the physical world alone. Things like wings coming out of hoodies, fire coming out of sneakers, and that sort of idea. Wanna-Kicks are another app that let you try on sneakers virtually. Or how about this concept that lets you experience a sneaker from a website in 3D before your very eyes? One app that has been around for a while and is used a lot is IKEA Place. IKEA, for anyone stateside, is a popular homeware and furniture store that also do great food randomly. Their app gives you a chance to put products in your house before purchasing. It takes into account your floor plan to see which items would fit best. A genuinely great option before ordering a massive sofa that won't fit through your door frame, because if you've ever actually done that in real life, it's really annoying. How about cooking at home? This demo shows ingredients, recipes, timings, and how to lay out your cakes before baking them, all as a digital layover to help you prepare your meals. It seems a no-brainer, especially now that we have AI models that can recognize these things. Or what about digital sculpting, as this demo shows, sculpting a fluid object with your hands in midair? Education, of course, learning chemistry and seeing the molecules in 3D right in front of you, being able to rotate and view them from all different angles. Or how about these weather reports, which I genuinely thought I'd never get excited about, but being able to demonstrate the conditions in a really extreme way is cool and helpful. Seeing cars coming out of the screen to show you how it might be icy, or visualizing the level of flooding is genuinely useful and way more impactful. The list goes on, but the point of this episode is to point out why the mainstream inflection moment for AR is probably coming pretty soon. We have this technology that's already being widely used in an early form. It's accessible and familiar to people. It doesn't ask them to massively change their daily habits. It just sits on top of their current experience. It's therefore easy to use. It's intuitive, social, and fun. And we have what looks like a key piece of the puzzle, with Apple about to drop a headset designed with all of this in mind. People talk about AI or the metaverse, or AR or VR, and the truth is it's not one or other of these things. They are all part of the same future of immersive technologies. The metaverse is all of this stuff together. Augmented reality feels like, to me, something that might onboard a whole new wave of people and be the next major catalyst. So there we are. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for checking it out. Make sure you hit subscribe on the Based AF YouTube channel, or follow on your podcast platform. This is where we talk about the future of humans and technology and where this is all heading. So see you for next week's episode.